Hey dreamers, this is Mandy Owen and I'm excited to be back with you again today to talk more about dreams. As always, you can find me on Facebook at Mandy Owen or on YouTube at Mandy Owen or online at mandyowenministries.com. We would love to hear more from you and about your dreams that you're having this season. On this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about Abraham Lincoln. So last week we talked about Elias Howe and how he invented the sewing machine. And I wanted to kind of stick with historical figures that we would recognize as we learn a little bit more about famous dreamers. And Abraham Lincoln is my favorite one. I love the story about Abraham Lincoln because he's such an iconic figure for Americans. He not only totally changed the United States and how we did things. He divided the United States, for one, with his desire to bring unity, to free slaves, to lead the country in a godly way. And it did. It caused a lot of division. The Civil War took place. It was an extremely heavy position that he went through. He knew what was right and he fought for it. But there's something else had to have led him. He had to have had discernment. He had to have had wisdom to be able to handle that kind of pressure and that kind of hatred that was after him as well. Love and hate both were mixed together with what he was creating that ended up changing everything in the United States. It revitalized everything. And he's such an iconic figure. But how did he have so much wisdom? And how did he have so much discernment? I don't know if you know this about him, but he was a famous dreamer and he paid attention to his dreams. There's a story about him that he wrote a letter to his wife early on about their son Tad. And he told her in this letter that he had an ugly dream about Tad and to please put his guns up so that he couldn't find them. That was a warning dream. So obviously President Lincoln had warning dreams in his life because he documented that one. And he paid attention. It wasn't just he had a warning dream. He had a warning dream and he paid attention to it. And he might have actually saved Tad's life. We don't know. But it was enough that he believed in the dream and he warned his wife about it. There's also another documented dream that he had. And it was a reoccurring dream. And it was him flying over a body of water at a great speed. And he said that he has this dream every time before a great move would happen in the war. And so he would have this dream reoccurring and then something big would happen in the war. And so anytime we're flying in a dream, that's revelation. It's a spirit of revelations taking place. The Lord's taking us to higher levels. And so Abraham Lincoln flew at a very high level of revelation. And in this dream, it was over a body of water. So body of water is representing life. Water gives life. It could represent the river of living water, Christ. Anytime I see water or a body of water, it's usually a really good symbol. And so he's flying over this, giving life, a spirit of revelation flying over this body of water that gives life and changing things. And so he would have this reoccurring dream. So those are documented. And then there was another dream. Now, this is the one I really want to focus on for today because I feel like I believe that President Lincoln was gifted with warning dreams. He probably had many, many more that were not documented. He probably had things even as a child that weren't documented because he would use his discernment to make decisions. And a lot of times that happens for us in our dreams. But this particular dream happened about his assassination. So he had this dream that he was in the East Wing of the White House. And he walks in and there's a corpse laying there and there's soldiers guarding it. And then there's mourners everywhere around. And he asked the soldier that's guarding this body, what happened? And he said, the president has been assassinated, or, the president's died and he has died by assassination. And then Abraham Lincoln looks over at the body, but it's not him. He doesn't recognize the body. So when he wakes up, he kind of dismisses it. He's not sure, obviously it doesn't set right in his spirit because he tells people about it. He told his wife, he told his friend, he told his bodyguard, but he didn't physically see himself laying there. So he somewhat dismissed this dream. It's documented that his friend and his biographer, Ward Hill Lemon, and his wife, Mary Todd, were told this dream from President Lincoln. And also, he also tells his bodyguard, William H. Crook, that he had this dream 3 nights before this happened. And he also had it reoccurring as well. It wasn't just once. He had this dream 2 or 3 times. And so it shook him. He was a little concerned by it. And even the night of the event where he went to the theater and was assassinated, he didn't want to go to that event because of this dream. So he had a warning dream. He knew this was coming. Although he dismissed it somewhat, he still had enough discernment to say, I probably shouldn't go to the theater tonight. But he had an obligation, and so he felt like he better go out of obligation. And how many times have we done that? How many times have we felt something in our spirit and we felt like, no, this isn't right, I shouldn't do this, but we've been obligated to do that? I want to release everyone right now that if you get a warning, if you get a dream, if you have anything in your discernment, if you have something in your spirit that says this doesn't feel right, that's the Holy Spirit. You need to listen to it and don't go. You don't owe anybody anything. As far as obligation goes, you need to follow your discernment and your spirit, because it could just be the Lord giving you a warning. And it says that he didn't want to go, so forth, but he went anyways. Another thing I wanted to note on here is that he didn't recognize a body laying there, like when in his dream. He kind of dismissed it because he didn't recognize himself laying as a corpse. I've had dreams that I've shared on here before, many videos ago, but I've had a dream where I saw myself lying in a hospital bed and I had died. But when I woke up, I knew immediately. I told my husband, I knew that wasn't me. Even though it was me in the dream, I knew that it wasn't me. By discernment, I knew by discernment that wasn't me. But that it had to have been somebody that was close to me, because I was the one laying there. So I knew that it had to be a family member or somebody that was close to me. So sometimes our dreams are not black and white. Sometimes they're not just literal dreams where we're going to see every little piece of it. Dreams are symbolic. We have to interpret them, and we have to follow the feeling and the spirit that we get from them. The spirit of revelation will come and it will speak to you. Abraham Lincoln, even though that wasn't his body laying there, and even though he did not recognize himself, the spirit of revelation, he had it. He carried it. He's already proven that throughout the war. He's already proven that he had the spirit of discernment and spirit of revelation. But he dismissed it this particular time. What would have happened if he had paid attention to that dream, and if he did not go to the theater that night? What if he had overcome that, or paid attention and was freed? But was saved from that assassination that night? It may have changed even more things in our history. I don't know. But so I'm going to encourage you: pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to the warnings that the Lord's giving you. You never know what might change in your business or in your family, in your life. You just never know. So keep dreaming, guys. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to the warning dreams, and see what the Holy Spirit's speaking to you about your business, about your family, about your future. Keep dreaming.